Springs, Colorado.
My name is Maura George. I'd like to say hi to all my friends and family in Colorado Springs.
Give a great shout out to my family and my friends.
Have a great 4th of July to my wife Cindy, my daughter Brooke, and my son Brent.
Go Rockies!
Go Rockies! Happy birthday, America! Go Rockies!
No better place to be on the 4th of July than the ballpark. And a whole lot of folks in purple making their way inside Coors Field to celebrate the 4th of July. And the Rockies taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. It'll be a fireworks night again. Another full house at Coors Field, and the Rockies try to cool off the red-hot LA Dodgers. And a whole lot of patriotic folks in the house as well this evening. She looks darling. Welcome upstairs, everybody. Along with my partner, George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Happy 4th of July. I hope the barbecue's going well for you at home. And for the Colorado Rockies, they look to, as I said, cool off a Dodger team that is really swinging the bats.
They have swung the bat well, and I think that's the danger part of this lineup that they have right now. A lot of people starting to say this may be the most dangerous lineup, as they were saying that about the Rockies a couple of weeks ago. Watched Tulowitzki today, swung in the batting cage. It was a good sight. Y'all better look out. It's not far away.
Yeah, and that's a guy they need back in the lineup. Until then, a lot of the focus of the offense falls on the shoulders of Michael Kadire, and naturally the Rockies' all-star left fielder, Carlos Gonzalez. Now, Cargo yesterday hit a home run. He also had a base hit late in the ballgame. It's unfair to put such a huge burden on one guy, but he needs to carry this offense along with Kadire.
Well, they have to, because you have young guys mixed in with a couple of veterans in Gonzalez and Kadire. So when they are able to perform, the others seem to raise their level up. It's unfair to ask the young kids to carry it, but it is fair to ask a superstar. He can do that. He's the type of guy that can come out and put big runs up on the board early in ball games. He and Kadire both.
Well, from a pitching standpoint, the Rockies are going to send Jhoulys Chacín to the hill tonight. The veteran left-hander Chris Capuano is going to go for L.A. Actually, Capuano's numbers much better on the road than they are at Dodger Stadium. Go figure that out. Chacín has been beautiful of late.
Well, you look at what he's done of late. He is a number one. The way he's given this club an opportunity to go out and win baseball games, working deep into the games, into the 7th inning, minimal pitch count to do it, elevating fastballs. He's done what he's need to do to become out and get to be this guy. I mean, he's excited. He's pumped. He wants to try to have this title of number one. He knows that he can lead this ball club into the offseason and into the postseason the way it needs to be. And a 4-0 in his last 4 starts, minusculely earned run average. And again, I think this is one of those guys that you want to just wrap the ropes around, hang on, and just let him pull you through to the finish line, because he's one of those guys that can do it. He's a horse.
Well, when I look at top of the rotation guys, they're guys that stop losing streaks. Now, the Rockies have lost 3 straight. The Dodgers are rolling right now. They need Chacín to put up a bunch of zeros against a very formidable lineup, as we discussed.
You know, that's a great point. You need a stopper in the rotation. He is that guy. De La Rosa has been that guy. And it's good that you have 2. I can't remember in the past where you had 2 guys that you could count on to stop a losing streak. The Rockies have that.
All right, we are set for a little 4th of July baseball. The Rockies and the Dodgers. Get the barbecue set. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Brought to you by your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Somewhat overcast. It's cooled off a little bit, but it's still a beautiful, pleasant 4th of July evening. The Rockies and Dodgers. And after tonight's ball game, the Rockies will head to Phoenix, Arizona. The Dodgers will stay in the NL West on the road as well. They'll be in San Francisco to open up a weekend set against the Giants. And both teams and all teams in baseball wearing the celebratory 4th of July hats. And those are then auctioned off online. And Major League Baseball, since they implemented this in 2008, has raised more than $23 million in the name of Welcome Back Veterans. 100% of the net proceeds going to Welcome Back Veterans. A great cause. Chaucine on the hill. You saw Mark Ellis a moment ago. Here's the rest of Don Mattingly's lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Yasiel Puig left the game prematurely last night with a hip bruise, but when you're young, you heal quickly. He's in there again. Adrian Gonzalez has hit a home run in each of the 2 games in this series. Hanley Ramirez is as hot as anybody in the game. He's got a 14-game hitting streak. Team's got a streak going of 15 consecutive scoreless innings.
And again, this you're looking at big numbers. 95 1/3 just past the break. Figure on 180, 190 innings. That's a good thing over the course of the season. 359 earned run average, and at home 5-2 with a 4.31 ERA. Out on the road 2-1. He's pitched well there. And if you take a look, it's predominantly has changed a little bit for him with when he comes right at the hitters. 89.8 and 63% of the time. The fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. The slider predominantly the swing and miss strikeout pitch.
Chaucine's record, scoreless record, is 15 1/3. Tie that by getting Mark Ellis. And the first pitch misses ball 1. The thing that's been most impressive, Frage, for me, and I suggest for you as well, has been the economy of pitches, which has not always been the forte of Chaucine. And he's working deep in games and doing it on 85, 90 pitches.
8 2/3, 86 pitches, 7 innings, 94 pitches, 8 innings, 95 pitches. Outstanding. Has not got over the 100 barrier since April the 19th against Arizona.
I mean, that's Maddox-like, Randy Jones-esque, if you want to go way back.
Yeah, get your pitches in and outs early. Behind on Ellis, 2-1.
Rockies and Dodgers in a virtual tie now in the National League West. Second place, 2.5 behind Arizona. One hopper for Arenado. You'll love those when you're a third baseman. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. And the defense is brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Gonzalez, Colvin in center tonight. Kadire in right. Arenado, Rutledge, LeMahieu, and Helton in the infield. Todd's played every game in this series. And Rosario, who has big numbers against Capuano's behind the plate. Here's Puig. Inside, ball 1. Puig yesterday had a double in 3 at-bats. Made a great catch, robbing Arenado of probably at least a double, and then hit the wall very hard. He stayed in for about an inning and then came out in a double switch. They did x-rays. They were negative, obviously, and he's in there again tonight. 2-1. Here's the catch he made last night to Rob Nolan.
And again, this cost him 2 runs, too. It really cost Nolan because this ball was tagged hard to right field. He turned around twice when he jumped. The hip went right off the side of that. Watch right here. Going to hit right on the corner of that post. I'll give you one more to look at what we're talking about here. Watch where the hip goes in and it just catches the corner in that leg. Drew, you mentioned on air last night. Lucky the knee wasn't banged up, let alone the hip.
I like the idea. They're trying to bust him in. It's now full count, 3-2.
They did it yesterday, and if you remember back, Chatwood, 93-mile-an-hour sinker in, tied him up when he was looking away. This guy's a good guess hitter.
Yeah, you may see.
He watches patterns.
You may see slider here away.
Yeah, I got to go back sinker under the hands. Nope, he went slider and hit it well, but right at Gonzalez.
Well, Puig, before the game, getting with the training staff of the Dodgers. He put on a show again at BP.
You know, it's interesting, and the only reason I say that is because there was a handful of Rockies sitting out in the dugout watching his batting practice today, and that was McGuire-esque when people used to watch McGuire, Sammy, Sosa back in 1998 when they would come out and take batting practice and everybody wanted to come watch.
Ball one on Adrian Gonzalez. He hit one that almost landed on the Fryer in the Helton shack, and I was talking to Adrian Gonzalez at the time, and his back was turned and everybody's oohing and eyeing. This ball is kind of lobbed into right center field for a base hit, and Adrian turned around. He goes, "Where'd it go?" And then he asked Kemp, he said, "Matt, where'd it go?" And they're pointing out way up on the concourse. When guys like Adrian Gonzalez and Matt Kemp are oohing and on, that's something. Yeah.
Well, and how about their batting coach, Mark McGuire, when he oohs and ahs?
Right.
It's a little bigger than even those other two guys.
Yeah, I would agree. It's Big Mac. And here's Hanley Ramirez. As hot as Puig is, Ramirez is almost matching him night for night, at bat for at bat. And it gets by Rosario momentarily, no advancement.
Yeah, anybody but Gonzalez probably advances on that. It appeared that he tried to backhand this pitch. So let's see what happens. Yeah, see, he's trying to backhand pick versus block and get his chest out over these knees and get the ball out in front of him. Let that chest become soft where it kills the baseball versus ricocheting away. That time he just tried to back pick it.
Hanley pulls it to third, and Arenado goes to LeMahieu, and that's all for the Dodgers. 16 straight scoreless innings for Chacín.
Wanted to wish my family and friends a very happy 4th of July, especially my wife Kristen, my son Sam, and my son George. Can't wait to see you guys soon.
Go Rockies!
We go to the bottom of the first inning. DJ LeMahieu is going to lead things off on this 4th of July against Chris Capuano, the Duke product. Take a look at Walt Weiss's lineup. It produced 8 runs last night. Double figures in hits. It was not enough as the Dodgers scored 10. Josh Rutledge will bat second, then Cargo and Kadire. Willeen Rosario has a couple of home runs against Capuano. Todd Helton will bat next, and Nolan Arenado, Tyler Colvin, and Chassin. The Rockies 6-4 all-time at home on the 4th of July.
Well, you see the numbers here. Chris Capuano 2-5. That doesn't tell the whole story. Out on the road, 1-1 with a 1.35 earned run average, 1-4 with a 9 at Chavez Ravine. That's really very complicating to understand. That you see the numbers, and then now you see what his arsenal is. 58% of the time, fastball can touch 89. He'll set 88 most of the time. A cutter in on the right-handers, curveball to the left-handers, who he's been able to handle this year. Left-handers just 220 with no home runs.
Capuano had a good year last year for the Dodgers. 12-11 record with a 3.69 ERA. Back in 06 with Milwaukee, he was a National League All-Star. Came up with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and his first pitch is in there for a strike. LeMahieu the last month has been swinging it well. In fact, over the last 30 days, he's hitting .317. And the wind blowing a little bit, and something got in DJ's eye. Wind's really gusted now all of a sudden left to right. You get one up in that old jet stream toward right center field, it's going to be hard for the ballpark to hold it.
Mark Stout, this ball's hit hard dead center
Dead
field.
center. Kemp is not going to make the catch. Short hops the wall. DJ in the second with a leadoff double. That's a good start.
Let's check with Mark Stout right now downstairs. Mark, what kind of wind you got?
Guys, if you see the flags, it looks like it's swirling kind of towards right field, but field level, it's coming in towards the hitter. That's why LeMahieu had something in his eye, but of course, if you hit a ball that hard, it's not going to matter.
Now look at this ball and thrown to DJ LeMahieu early in the count, trying to go away with the cutter. He left it out over the plate, and DJ smoked it.
Here's Rutledge, and Rutledge puts down a good bunt. Capuano hustling, and he slings it in time to Adrian Gonzalez. Sac bunt. I really like that option as opposed to trying to stay inside the baseball and work it to the right side. I think there's a greater likelihood with Rutledge's
hitter to put in that 2-hole that can handle the bat really well. The young kid, Walt chose to go ahead and sacrifice over, particularly with this guy, Gonzalez and Kadire coming up. You feel pretty confident to get the run in, particularly with Gonzalez up and 1 out.
Yeah, and I'm not positive that came from the dugout. That may have been Rutledge on his own doing it. Chance for the Rockies to get a quick run. And if it stays fair, that'll work, and it is a fair ball into the right field corner. Here comes LeMahieu. Cargo into second with an RBI double. Well, the guy we featured off the top comes through in the first inning as he did yesterday with a home run. That is RBI number 62 for Cargo. 1-0 Rockies.
Try to see this pitch. Kind of drop down low 3/4 fastball. Did not intimidate at all. Line shot to right field. Fair ball by about 15 feet. The Rockies now 18-8 so far this season when they score first at Coors Field. They've scored first.
Here's Kadire. Michael looking for his 50th ribby. And he takes a strike. Home plate umpire this evening's Mark Wegner. Laz Diaz is at first. Tim Timmons at second. Mike Winters is at third. Matt Kemp at center. A couple of steps toward right center. Big gap in left center field. Capuano comes in at 89. That's about where he'll top out.
Part of the reason for the defensive alignment is because of Kadire hitting the ball to the right side so much. Driving it into right center. Kemp kind of get a little jump, throwing grass into the air to pick which way the wind's blowing now.
And that's on the outside corner.
Well, that is a stiff wind over the scoreboards right now. Those flags are stiff as a board. Kadire 359 with runners in scoring position.
One out, Cargo at second, a run in for the Rockies. Cargo with a 1-2 count. He's eyeballing Puno, seeing how far off he is. Capuano obviously throwing from the left side. You try to get in that blind spot, see if Cargo looks to run. Strike three on the outside corner.
Right on the outside corner, knee high, a pitcher's pitch. They're able to get Kadire with Mark Wegner ringing him up. It's just going to get enough of it. But if they give it to you one time, you go back out there again as a pitcher.
One of the things that you try to figure out in the first inning or two of the game is what the strike zone is for the home plate umpire. There's Mike Winters. Last night he had a postage stamp both ways. Now, if you're Kadire, you realize, okay, they may call with Mark Wegner. He may call pitches, a couple inches off the plate tonight, and you just file it away, and you better cover it.
And I think part of that is who's on the mound too. And if they've had him in the past a number of times, they know how they pitch. They know where they have to pitch to have success. Not that they're giving him anything. They just know where guys throw the baseball.
Rosario 3 for 5, 2 home runs against Capuano. Willeen hit 305 in the month of June. He's got an 8-game hitting streak going, which he's hit, as you see on your screen, 433. One and one. Tonight's defense for the Dodgers brought to you by Excel Energy. Make the choices that fit your life. Excel will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Matt Kemp flanked by Ether in left. Yasiel Puig is in right. Punto, Ramirez left side. Ellis and Gonzalez right side. And the backup catcher, Tim Fedorovich, is working this evening. Goes soft away again, and it's 2-1. Capuano, a similar arsenal to Jeff Francis.
That's a good comparison. Francis probably has a little bit better curveball than what Capuano has. He likes to sink and change speeds, keep the ball away to the other side.
3-1 on Rosario, who wants tacos. Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. And he got the fastball. Willeen let it pass. It's 3-2. That was center cut. They've been sitting on the changeup there. Cargo at second. He had an RBI double. And a bouncing ball to third. Punto will get Rosario. The Rockies got a pair of doubles and a run in that first inning. LeMahieu and Gonzalez. 1-0 as we go to the second. Guano. Jolie Chassin on the hill. He'll begin with Andre Ethier in the second inning. Tonight's sideline report is brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company. Secrets in the fire. It's a ready-to-eat superfood. Let's go downstairs again. Check in with Mark Stout. Mark.
All right, guys. Happy 4th of July, everybody. And with Independence Day here, I thought it would be a good time to check in on Todd Helton and where he stands all-time ranking-wise in a number of statistics. If you look at doubles, he's about to pass Wade Boggs. He needs a couple to get past Boggs and to move into 18th. Walks, Mark McGwire, who's in the house with the Dodgers, of course. He's at 40th now, can pass him next. Extra base hits, trying to get to 40th and pass Carlos Delgado. 3 hit games. Look at that name there, Babe Ruth. He needs 3 to pass Babe Ruth. Joe DiMaggio next on the home run list. Johnny Bench on the RBI list. And in terms of runs, next up, Tony Gwynn. And he's 6 hits away from top 100 all time in the game, guys. He'll hit next half inning.
Amazing stuff, really is, when you let that sink in and digest it. Ethier takes strike 1. Andre batting .255. He had a double in last night's ball game. And that's back up the middle, a base hit.
Okay, watching him run last night up the line on a ground ball to short. He's running better. He's swinging the bat better.
He's always hit pretty well against Chassin. He's 8 for 20 now against Jolie. That'll bring up Matt Kemp, who has struggled against Chassin. In his career, he's just 5 for 28, a 179 average. Kemp quoted after the game last night. He said, "This is ridiculous." He said, "We got 2 dudes hitting over 400. Talking about Puig and Hanley Ramirez. And normally when you're talking about the Dodger offense, you're talking about Matt Kemp and the guy at first, Andre Ethier. Kemp's used to people saying that about him.
Well, when you're talking maybe second in MVP voting, all the things he did, driving in the RBIs, Gold Gloves, I mean, all the stuff that he brings to the table, but not what that guy's brought in the last month. 44 hits, Player of the Month, Rookie of the Month.
Good pitch. It's 0-2. A reminder that during the 5th inning, we'll answer your questions on air during Toyota Talk. Text the word Toyota followed by your question to 720-720. Toyota Talk. Diamondbacks won in 15 earlier today at Citi Field against the Mets, 5-4. They finished their 10-game road trip at 3-7. They're leading the division. They're 3 games over 500. And this ball's hit well left center field. It was a hanger, and it is gone. Matt Kemp hit his first home run in a month and a half last night, and he just hit another one to give the Dodgers a 2-1 lead.
Kemp 179 average in 28 at bats, 5 for 20. He's 6 for 29 now. One of those 6 hits, a home run. Now he's got a couple to go. They got this one to go along with it, and a couple of RBIs. Trying to throw that breaking ball to count 0-2 count. He left it right up and out over the middle of the plate, and Mike Subaru showed it really well. Ball carried. I don't know, Drew, if the wind pushed this a little bit. Tyler Coleman thought he had a chance to catch that ball, but it ended up in the first row seats out there.
You know, it's almost a cliche to say a pitch hit out is a bad pitch, but that was a bad 0-2 pitch.
Very bad.
And Jolice knew it as soon as he let it go. It's a cement mixer out over the middle of the plate. Fedorovich lines one toward the gap in left center field. Parga trying to cut it off. He will. Fedorovich will stop with a long single. That's 3 straight hits in the second inning. And by the way, his scoreless streak gone in 16 innings. Switch hitter Nick Puno will come up. Autoglass issues, call Safelite Autoglass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. This lineup has been carried of late by Ramirez, Puig, Adrian Gonzalez seems to get big hits every night when there's traffic, and now all of a sudden Kemp looks like he's finding his all-star stride.
Andre swing the bat better. Maybe it's just here at Coors Field where he's swung the bat well in the past.
And they're a few days from getting Crawford back. He played again last night in the California League on his rehab assignment. Pulled foul. Since the start of 2011, Matt Kemp has hit 13 home runs against the Rockies. That's by far more than anybody else. Miguel Montero has 9, Buster Posey 9. But you can't feel bad if you're the Rockies, because he's hit a lot of home runs against a lot of people in the division.
He has. He's been a wrecking crew on his own. Now he's got a very good supporting cast surrounding him in his lineup.
Shoot, he's hitting 6th. 1-1. Dodgers have won 10 of 11, 4 in a row.
I don't think Mattingly stopped smiling since this lineup got back together.
They were done. He did stop last night after Puig got hurt. He had to run out there and then run back in. And I said, "Did you need oxygen?" He goes, "That's why I stopped at the mound."
You got to stop for a minute and talk. That's a long ways out there. Reminds me of a story Tony Russo told me one time when Jim Edmonds was playing center field, and he always used to run really deep, hit the wall, and he'd lay there, and the trainer would walk out. And you know, and they'd sit there. Barry Weinberg get all the way out to center field. LaRussa get all the way to center field. And he'd roll over and goes, "Pretty good catch, huh?" So finally, I guess he hit one time, and LaRussa put the 90-second rule in. Base hit to left now. 4 straight hits. But LaRussa put the 90-second rule in. If he doesn't move in 90 seconds, we go. Otherwise, stay in the dugout. I don't want to hear "nice catch" again when I get all the way out there.
Jim Edmonds had the flair for the dramatic, and sometimes it did appear that he was embellishing a little bit. You know, the dive when perhaps it wasn't necessary, but he was a terrific defender.
No question.
Capuano in a bunting situation.
You know, the dangerous part of this lineup now, because if you do sacrifice over, which you are going to do, with nobody out, this game gets a little crazy.
You got to catch your run. You can get the force at third. Arenado to first, and Capuano, to his credit, ran hard. But this was set up to get the force, George, because you had Fedorovich at second base.
Well, they don't run, but he didn't bunt the ball very well either. You know, it's a running throw. It was set up for that purpose, but it wasn't a good bunt by Capuano. It was dead and right out, didn't even get out of the dirt area of home plate. With the quickness of Rosario, you got to put it out on the grass. Arenado tried to turn it into a double play, got right behind it and really fired it at DJ, just not in time.
So Mark Ellis with runners at first and second and 1 out. The Dodgers up 2-1 on the Kemp 2-run home run earlier in this inning. Ellis yesterday had 3 hits. Bounces up there. June the 2nd, the Dodgers and Rockies got together. This was their lineup on June the 2nd when they were 9 under 500. Punto leading off, playing second. Uribe was near the top of the lineup. Then Gonzalez. Scott Van Slyke, who we haven't even seen in this series, was your cleanup hitter. Fedorovich, a journeyman catcher, was batting 5th, and Ethier, Luis Cruz has been waived and picked up by the Yankees. Skip Schumacher. That's your lineup as compared to what they rolled out last night. Quite a difference. That's off the plate. 2-1. The Dodgers, by virtue of their 8-0 and 10-8 victories so far in this series, have won the series. And this may catch you by surprise. It's the first time the Dodgers have won a series at Coors Field since late September of 2010.
Ooh.
Got away with one.
Yeah, dangerous pitch there, and that's the reason I went, ooh. It looked like a hanging breaking ball about chest high. And that becomes more of a batting practice type pitch. That's the pitch that Kemp hit out. One that didn't get finished on the outside corner. See it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. A belt tie heater, and then Ellis just got a little over anxious and swung under it.
Gets Mark Ellis. First strikeout of the ball game for Chacin. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Puig.
I'm trying to throw the slider this time, but he's going to really get on top of it and make sure that he doesn't get off to the side. So that way you have that late dive, and you got to rely and believe that that catcher is going to block the baseball, and that's exactly what Moline did.
With Puig, they're 17-11.
That's it.
Seems like they're undefeated, doesn't it?
They are so far when I've watched.
Chacin got Puig on a end of the bat fly ball to left field his first time up. Said it the other day, I am impressed with Puig's relative plate discipline.
You know, we had this discussion the other day. Vladimir Guerrero. Is it that guy, Bo?
He's not walking a lot.
Bo Jackson.
But he'll take pitches.
He takes to get the hitter's count. It's not that I was talking about that last night. He's a very good guess, hit situational guy. He watches patterns, where you're going to go more than once. Very, very good at opening the front side, getting the head through, driving the baseball. There's a lot of good things that he does at home plate.
Chacin ties him up. It's 1-2. Always felt, George, with the good hitters, I don't know if you felt this way as a pitcher, you probably did, that it's almost easier to get to 2 strikes than it is to get the guy put away.
Oh, the really good hitters, yeah. Power hitters, you get them chase every now and then, but guys with high averages, with power, no, they kind of spread out a little bit. They get their hands in a little better position. They become a contact guy to drive the ball to all fields. They're just very, very good. And again, it all goes back to the hand-eye coordination.
1-2 with 2 outs, and he got him on a slider. Good pitching there by Chacin. He strikes out Yasiel Puig with 2 aboard. In the inning, there was an Ethier single and then a Kemp 2-run home run on an 0-2 pitch, and the Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead, middle of 2.
My friends and family in Colorado Springs. Send a sincere thank you to all the firefighters and to my husband and 3 kiddos back home. I love you. I miss you. Mommy's coming back home. Happy 4th of July and go Rockies.
She did a great job, Maura. Happy 4th of July to you and to your family, and thank you to you and all of the folks from Peterson Air Force Base for the work they're doing. And that group right now, somewhere in the Middle East. 2-1 LA after the 2-run home run by Matt Kemp with George Frazier and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. And on this 4th of July, it is time for Todd Helton to take his first swings of the night against Chris Capuano. He'll be followed by Nolan Arenado and Tyler Colvin. Todd hitting .357 so far with a couple of jacks against LA pitching.
.286 in his career against Capuano. No home runs, but 3 RBIs.
Good pitch. Capuano in his career has limited left-handed hitters to a .229 average.
Well, right now they have 2 guys that are very similar, and Ted Lilly, who's down rehabbing at Rancho Cucamonga, not having a whole lot of success doing it. And then you have Capuano. I don't think you can have 2 of those guys in your rotation.
I think everybody presumes that the Dodgers will go out and make a deal for a starter, and the Rockies are in that market also.
Well, they had 2 scouts in Atlanta last night watching Nolasco, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Along with the Cincinnati Reds, New York Yankees. Got into a pitcher's count, tried to slap to foul the ball off, and ends up a ground ball at shortstop for Todd.
1 out. Rockies fans join Root Sports and the Rockies today in their new initiative, Hit Count. Support the Children's Hospital and Special Olympics Colorado as well by backing your favorite player. Your donation is determined by his hits in the second half of the season. Each player's stats will be shown online to track throughout the rest of the year. For more information and to back your players, visit Rockies.com/hitcount. And again, the beneficiaries, Children's Hospital and Special Olympics Colorado. Arenado takes ball 1. Nolan 11 for his last 33 at the plate. He's never faced Capuano. Well, they checked it with Laz Diaz, and it was called a strike by Diaz, so it's 1-1.
Not sure about that one. Just from the naked eye and watch it. Get another look at it maybe here in just a second. We'll get it maybe after this pitch. If Nolan gets a base hit, it won't matter.
No, it may not. High drive, deep left field, but the wind's going to hold it up. And it's caught by Ethier. Arenado thought the same thing we did. He thought he hit it over, at the very least, over Ethier's head.
Yeah, there's still a very strong wind in that opening out in left center. Well, just in case you're wondering, sent it home. Let's see if he went around. You know the line. Yeah, I guess maybe he did. The hands never broke, but things did go out beforehand.
Colvin takes a strike. Really struggling to get hot again. Tyler Colvin, who was hot when he came up from AAA, but he's just 2 for his last 33 with 15 strikeouts.
Really out on that front foot that time. And again, you know, you're facing some left-handers right now that maybe you normally didn't. Last year you hit
1 and 2 on the Clemson product. Tyler Colvin, 2 outs, nobody on in the Rockies' second. He set up away again. Fastball at 90. That's off the plate. Capuano's one of those guys, George, that I think if he wanted to, he could be a situational guy, because he drops down a little bit and he has the good numbers career-wise left on left. Adrian Gonzalez will field it, run to the bag, and it's a 1-2-3 second. 2-1 LA as we go to the third at Coors Field on the 4th of July. Gonzalez double to drive in DJ LeMahieu, but then Matt Kemp hit a second inning 2-run home run against Chacín. 2-1 LA as we go to the top of the third. AT&T trivia question on this 4th of July reads in the following manner. Only 2 Cuban-born players have ever been named Rookie of the Year. Can you name them? And the question, naturally, with the numbers put up so far by Yasiel Puig, does that for 4 months, will be very much in the conversation for Rookie of the Year.
How about MVP? He hits 400. Puts up the things he's done. You know what is it? But the Rockies have done some things, you know. The Rockies have done some things to him here. The league's going to take attention to this a little bit with that hard slider away, busting hard in.
He's a marvelous talent. He's thrilling to watch. But you've been around this game a long time. I've seen my share of baseball games. Nobody hits 400 anymore.
Second time through the lineup, second time through the league will really start to tell what happens with him also.
Gonzalez pulls it foul. Shift is on. I was kidding Adrian today. I said, would you get that off the handle last night? The ball hit in the second deck. He said, I hit 4 balls on the button last night. He says, I got 1 hit. And these 2 are identical tonight. I mean, he hit 2 off the end of the bat. And they look like they were going to back up like you hit a balada. Sand wedge to right center again. And
sinker away. Just it's moving away from his power. And you can see Chacín, he threw his hands up. Jolis did, like, I can't make a better pitch than this. I mean, Chacín did that, and it just right off the end of the bat.
We're going to show you in a moment his first base hit, and I'm telling you, they're identical.
You could throw a blanket over where they both landed.
And the Ramirez at the plate. He grounded to third his first time up. Riding a 14-game hitting streak, hit 500 during that stretch. Now here's the first base hit by Adrian Gonzalez. Is that not the?
Yep.
What's the difference?
Yep. Same exact pitch, same exact area, just blooped right out in front of Kadire.
Ramirez on the disabled list twice this year. You may recall during the WBC in the championship game for the Dominican Republic, he broke his thumb. He had to have surgery, so he missed a great deal of time with that, and then he had a hamstring injury.
Tough. I mean, very difficult, particularly the thumb area. And then the hamstring, thinking about turning all the double plays, backhanded balls at shortstop. Healthy now, that's for sure. Swinging about really well. I'd like to check the numbers of established big leaguers that played in that tournament and what their numbers were in April, and if it was as good with the guys that obviously went spring training, did their normal routine. I think it's really good for baseball, and I think it's great for the countries to be represented, but I just wonder how many of them, what went on with them and how well it turned out. All the softball girls are in town. Huge softball tournament. Teams from California all the way to New York.
Remember that last year.
Yeah, going on right now. It's wonderful. I mean, there is just a ton of guys here. A ton of gals here. And a ton of guys. You know how many umpires are staying at the hotel? There's like 20. And there's about 6 teams there, and they all get booed when they get out of the car. It's by me and Tracy.
You're booing the girls? Why?
The umpires.
Oh, the umpires.
20 of those staying at the hotel. Yeah, the city's full right now. Going to be all the way through the weekend. I know tonight there was an awful lot of teams trying to get tickets for the ball game to come over.
3-2 on Ramirez. Gonzalez a leadoff single. It's 2-1 LA. The Dodgers accumulating hits in bunches again tonight. They had 17, a season high yesterday, and they have 6 already against Chacin. And that's ball 4. It almost looked like fooled Rosario. 2 on for Andre Ethier. Register now for your chance to win tickets to Toby Keith. You'll also be entered to win baseball packages and a whole lot of other great prizes. For official rules and to enter, visit cfdrodeo.com/Toby Keith. That's a different view. Jimmy Wright's out at the mound. You know, last night the Dodgers got after a guy that had been on quite a roll in Tyler Chatwood. Some of the numbers from last night: 10 runs a season high, 17 hits a season high for LA. They had 10 extra base hits. Not only is that a season high, it's the most extra base hits they've had in a game since 2006. And that game in 2006 was that extra inning affair that the Dodgers were behind by 4 runs in the 9th inning, and they hit 4 consecutive home runs, solo shots, to tie it up. They won it in extras. Nomar Garcia-Parra, if memory serves me correctly, tied it and eventually won it with a home run. That's the last time they had 10 extra base hits in a game.
But that was in extra innings, in 9 innings.
Right.
That last type of situation, a little different story.
Rockies need a ground ball here in the worst way. They won't get it, but it's going to stay up for Kadire. Adrian Gonzalez will run in the bag and stay put. 1 out, and that'll bring up Kemp.
Lock in your games this summer with a summer 6-pack. That's right. Pick any 6 ball games, including the Cubs and the Red Sox, and get up to 40% off. 303 Rockies/special. Excuse me, 303 Rockies or Rockies.com/special to find out an awful lot about that ticket information.
So Matt Kemp, who hit a hanging curveball for a 2-run home run in the 2nd, is up there with 2 on and 1 out. Double play depth for Rutledge and LeMahieu up the middle. And out in front on the slider is Kemp.
Left center field, hanging slider. You never saw the feet move, but boy, you allowed that upper half to get loaded and get to the backside. And obviously Chacin disappointed in the results because he didn't put the slider where he wanted it. You know, when you're not going good as a hitter, you don't hit mistakes. You know, you hit the hanging slider and you pop it up to short. When you're starting to get locked in, you take those mistakes and you really capitalize on them.
0-1 on Kemp. Sinker down low. Well, think about it, George. The last 24 hours, he's hit home runs against Rex Brothers, who hadn't given up a home run all year, and now Jolie Chassin, who's been on quite a roll. So it's not like he's beating up the back end of the rotation.
No, he's done very well. I mean, that's starting to get a little scary if he's getting that way.
Line drive, base hit. Cargo up with the baseball. Adrian Gonzalez gets a stop sign. Cargo airs it all the way to the plate. Just once, George. Just one time I'd like to be able to throw like that.
You'd hurt your arm.
Yeah, it'd come off. Bases are loaded for the catcher, Fedorovich.
The only danger side, this is only me, but I would like to have seen Rosario get out and catch the ball in the air. Why run the gamble of trying to block a ball at home plate and let it scoop it off of you or into the dugout or off to the screen and then a run scores? When you can see that the runner's not coming, step out a couple of feet and catch the baseball. Or take away that risk of the ball getting away from you.
Fedorovich played for a great college program. Tar Heels of North Carolina. They got eliminated in the College World Series back-to-back years by the eventual champions, the Oregon State Beavers.
In this ball club, the Dodgers have struggled with the bases loaded this year, 167. Fedorovich 1 for 4, Drew.
Yep, if you get one on the ground here, you can get out of it unscathed. Oh, that goes to the backstop, and fortunately it's Adrian Gonzalez at third base. And we saw a ball get away from Rosario earlier about 10 feet. Gonzalez did not look to move up. That's not Adrian's game, so it's 2-0.
Should have seen right now Hanley Ramirez out at second base, though, yelling. You know, you got to anticipate a ball getting away, get that walking lead away on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Missed tremendously.
I think some guys, George, are leery now, and we see it in every ballpark. Every ballpark's so much more intimate, those hard walls with the ricochet.
Well, that and the closeness. They've moved this to 44 feet now. Second closest backstop in all of baseball behind Wrigley Field.
Got to make a pitch here, 2-0. And it's lifted to shallow center. Gonzalez can't score on this, obviously. Colvin's got it. In fact, the infield fly rule was put into place late. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Nick Punto. Punto had a base hit his first time up, but coming into the ball game, he was just 13 for his previous 81, a 160 average, and that dated back to May 26th for the platoon player Nick Punto.
Dangerous type hitter, though. He really spreads out, uses his hands, stays back. He doesn't try to overswing on the baseball. And so far in the year, hitting 260 with 12 RBIs in a limited duty.
And to your point, George, he struck out just 38 times and 181 at bats. So typically he's going to get it in play. 0-2. Looking this up, I thought he played in the WBC for Italy. He did. Bases loaded, 0-2 count with 2 outs. Chassin's already 55 pitches in.
Pretty high number.
Yeah, it stands in stark contrast to what we've seen of late. Last 3 starts, very few pitches, and 0.76 earned run average. Working deep into ball games. Last 3 starts, he's worked 23 2/3. Swung on and missed. Puno spikes the bat, and the helmet. The Dodgers do not score. Bases loaded with 1 out. Good pitching from Jhoulys Chacín. Alexis look back. Rockies got the first run of the ball game after a double by DJ LeMahieu. First pitch swinging. Carlos Gonzalez lined a double of his own to the right field corner. But the Rockies lead was short-lived. Matt Kemp on an 0-2 pitch with a man aboard, got a hanging breaking ball, and he hit it out to center field. He hit a home run last night to center field as well. And you're up to date on the scoring. 2-1 as Chacín wiggled out of a bases-loaded situation at the top of the third. The Rockies will have 9-1-2 here in the bottom of the third. The Cooney Lexus look back, brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, now open in Greenwood Village. Chacín takes strike one. Jhoulys likes to swing the bat. He's have a couple of guys working on back-to-back nights that enjoy swinging the bat. Tyler Chatwood the same way. And Jhoulys takes a home run hack and fouls it straight back. He's big enough to hit it out, George.
Oh, there's no question. 6'4", 235. He can hit it a long, long way. I like to come out early in the afternoons and watch the pitchers take batting practice.
You comparing and contrasting from when you were swinging the bat?
No. No. Chacín is a guy, though, that hits it out pretty good. De La Rosa, believe it or not, swings it very well. And Chatwood, of course, you mentioned him.
Yeah, in terms of sheer size and strength, the biggest, strongest Rockies pitcher is Edgmer Escalona. Big man down in that bullpen. A lot of guys working out of the pen tend to be large human beings. Matt Belisle's no small man. Rockies will be in Arizona over the weekend. David Hernandez, J.J. Putz, big dudes. And this ball's popped down the right field line. This could be a problem. And it will be. That's a fair ball. Now, got to watch for the backdoor throw. They'll go to second. Chacín with a fly ball single down the right field line.
And I'm going to tell you, I don't think Puig saw the baseball, because we saw him from a dead sprint run 30 feet beyond that and make a play on it. This ball, he never even broke stride to get there. I mean, it was just kind of a soft jog into the baseball. You'll see him coming into it. See, I mean, it's not a dead sprint like it was the other day in foul territory. So you wonder a little bit about that leg that went up against the wall last night. You know, he's not coming after that one the way he did the other night.
No, and it's probably good for Adrian Gonzalez and Mark Ellis. He did. Otherwise, it'd be like the old wedge buster going down on kickoff. May have taken them both out. Here's LeMahieu, his double short hop to center field wall, leading off the game, and a base hit to right. Nice footwork by Chassin. He'll shut it down in second. Puig fires it back in. 2 on against Capuano with nobody out here in the third. DJ continues to swing it.
Yeah, you see this ball up and out over the plate, but to the outer half, but a good inside-out swing by DJ LeMahieu to shoot it through that hole on the right side beyond Gonzalez into the corner.
See if Rutledge plays that bunt game again. George tries to push a bunt maybe.
Chassin not a speedster, but he's not slow by any means either.
No, he's not. He runs okay for a big guy and for a pitcher. Outside ball 1. Josh going to stare down Stu Cole. Gonzalez is moved behind the runner at first. Good block by Fedorovich. On the first pitch of the at-bat to Rutledge, he was in front of DJ LeMahieu. He's moved behind him now.
What I was looking at when the pitch was thrown, I mean, hold it right there, guys, is that you're looking at Punta. He's tied here at third. Ramirez is playing up here. Now you're throwing a breaking ball, soft stuff down and into Rutledge. That whole left side's wide open to pull the baseball. Typically, a pitcher will take it hard down and away like that.
Back up the middle, base hit Rutledge. Chassin gets a green light. Kemp up with a baseball throw in a third. LeMahieu safe. And into second is Rutledge. The Rockies have tied it up. Good base run all the way around. Rutledge with his 16th RBI.
Yeah, good for Josh Rutledge. He'd struggled and hitting the ball hard and getting any kind of reward for it of late. He got a big reward here, and he really ran the bases well, ending up at second base with nobody out here in the third inning. The Rockies have tied the score 2-2. This is outstanding now of watching what's going on. The throw coming in from Kemp right on line, cut the bag well by DJ. And the advancement, you're looking back at the other end of the screen, you're going to see Rutt coming into second base, safe with Cargo up.
Right part of the lineup. Nobody out, second and third. Cargo a line double to right. Cued down the line, off the bag, fair ball. They got LeMahieu hung up. And a bad break for Gonzalez, in that you hope that would twist foul with all the English.
Right off the end of the bat, caught right in front of it. Now, like what Pinto did here, he went sidearm to throw the ball into Fedorovich at the catcher. Then he gets out of the way. The tag applied, but nobody able to advance.
Michael Kadire. And Kadire takes a strike. 352 career average against the Dodgers. But he struck out looking his first time up. In fact, in that at bat, he never swung the bat. Called out on a fastball, just nicked the corner. Today's Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And you look at, since Kadire's streak began, who are the hottest hitters in the game. A couple of Dodgers, a Rocky, and 2 Cardinals. Two and one on Michael. He had second and third, nobody out. Pretty important that you get something done here additionally, especially being in the middle of the lineup. Good speed aboard with Rutledge and Gonzalez.
Change up outside half to Michael Kadire. Then you go back to his previous at bat. Very similar situation. Working the ball in that outside corner. You can see both third and fourth pitches were there. And then now in this at bat, similar situation, going away to try to take away the power, getting to roll over one to try to get a double play ball.
Center field and deep. Kemp going back. Can't get it. Rutledge and Cargo almost tied together at the hip. Here's the throw to the plate. Safe. Kadire will move up to third. Rockies take a 4-2 lead. The Cuddy Man can.
51 RBIs now. Gonzalez a really good read on that baseball. And then the race was on between he and Rutledge on who was going to get to the plate first.
Well, it better
I
not.
love to watch it, to see just this happen like this. It doesn't happen often that the trail runner gets a little better look at the baseball and can see a better flight and examine it better. Then when you see the race come on, it's outstanding. Obviously, you don't want Gonzalez catching him. We all understand that at home with baseball, but you got two guys coming back to back, slide by slide, to put the Rockies on top.
That's one of the more exciting things you'll ever see in baseball, where two guys have to slide into the plate. Rosario coming up. Huge that Kadire could move up. And they're going to give an error on the play also, allowing Kadire to go from second to third.
It's on Hanley Ramirez on a throw to the plate. Hanley with 3 now at shortstop.
51 ribbies for Kadire. That's a
really
great look at it.
See it here on the wide shot when it comes off of here. Fans cheering. The ball on.
Ribbies. He has one season back in 2006. He drove in 109. Once Bauer and Morneau showed up in Minnesota, he moved down the lineup a little bit. There's many opportunities to drive in runs. Infield halfway, center field. This should be deep enough. Kemp makes the catch. Kadire will come on down. Rosario makes it 5-2.
Broadcast area, you know, is this what your club? Not really. If you've watched, Tulowitzki isn't here. But it's a very formidable offense that can do an awful lot of damage. And you're seeing that damage tonight. They can do it, and they can do it quickly against Don Mattingly's Dodgers. They can do it, and they can do it quickly against Don Mattingly's Dodgers.
Two outs, nobody on. Helton at the plate. 4 runs on 4 hits, and it all began with that fly ball single just inside the right field line by Jolie Chassin. They're to see if he went early. He did not. They appealed to third.
And how many times have you seen a starting pitcher, the way Chassin worked out of that previous inning to get the ground ball, or excuse me, fly ball with runners in scoring position, bases loaded, and the strikeout of Punto to end the inning, that it kicks in your offense the next inning. It's happened here, and it all started with him with a blue pit to right.
But the mentality, George, has to be, it should be this way any night, but particularly with this Dodger offense, you have to keep adding on.
You have to add on. You can't have a big inning and then sit on it. It's not going to work.
Two and one. Rockies up 5-2 in the third. You mentioned Tulowitzki a number of times naturally in this broadcast. He took BP outside today.
Pretty good job of it too. A couple of balls off the wall. It was fun to watch. Getting closer and closer.
Told me the other day, throwing has not been an issue at all. The Rockies have played 17 without Tulowitzki, and they're 6-11. Of course, they're about to embark on a 10-game road trip that will take them to the All-Star break, all inside the National League West. Beginning tomorrow night in Phoenix. Ball 4. I want to go back very quickly. We were talking about that game the last time the Dodgers had 10 extra base hits in a game. It was 06 when they hit 4 solo home runs in a row to tie the game in the 9th inning. That was September 18th of 06. It was Jeff Kent, J.D. Drew, Russell Martin, and then Marlon Anderson all going back to back to back to back to tie it in the 9th against the Padres. And then Nomar won it with a 2-run home run in the 10th. 11-10 final. Arenado takes ball 1. Capuano in his last start lost to the Phillies 16-1. He lasted just 3 2/3 that night. Gave up 7 runs, 5 earned, and 10 hits. Tonight he's given up 5 runs on a half dozen hits. I don't think, George, you can overstate the importance of avoiding the sweep tonight and having a little bit of a positive vibe going out on this road trip.
Oh, no question.
And the Rockies will have a losing homestand because they're sitting at 2-4 right now. The loss to the Mets, they did well against the Giants, taking 2 of 3, but 0-2 obviously against these Dodgers. Arizona already won today in 15 in New York. Mets have played 4 games in excess of 13 innings already this year, short. Ramirez to Ellis to end the inning. The Rockies get 4 runs on 4 hits to take a 5-2 lead to the 4th.
wing, Colorado Springs, Colorado. To all my family and friends back in Colorado, have a great 4th of July. To my wife Cindy, my daughter Brooke, and my son Brent, have a great summer. We'll see you soon. Happy birthday, America. Go Rockies.
Kyle Cordell's a resident of Littleton. We thank Kyle and his colleagues for all of their service right now in the Middle East. Good folks from Peterson Air Force Base down in the Springs. 5-2. Capuano will lead it off against Chassin. And a line drive to Cargo and left, playing shallow, 1 out.
I'd like to see that early out, too. 57 pitches now as he works here in the 4th. And I'd like to see that stay down a little bit.
AT&T trivia question. With the success of Yasiel Puig, we thought we'd ask you, only 2 Cuban-born players have ever been named Rookie of the Year. Can you name them? Tony Oliva, and that's right, Jose Canseco was actually born in Cuba. And the answer to the bonus question. What was the bonus question again? I didn't read the bottom part. And in the only Cuban-born Hall of Famers, the great Cincinnati Red Tony Perez. There you go. Three and 0 on Mark Ellis. And a 4-pitch walk to Ellis. It's a second walk issued tonight by Chassin.
And obviously you don't want to have a lot of men on base in this situation. Not with this offense. You don't want to give them any free passes, make them earn the whole way.
Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC.
Starting to let that front shoulder fly a little bit, and it's very difficult to feel when you're on the mound in a game that shoulder flies, but when it comes open, it comes offline just enough that you start to have a little bit of a head whack out front, and you drive the ball down in the bottom half of the zone. It's just a matter of not trying to throw hard, but stay fundamentally sound to get the same results and movement off your pitch. It's difficult for a player to feel what you're doing wrong in the line of battle. When you're out here trying to get a guy out, that's why it's so nice to have the eyes of a pitching coach and a catcher come out and remind you about front shoulder staying closed a little bit longer. Good pitch there.
He's fooled Puig with that hard sinker a few times in the game. He struck him out in the second. He got him to hit a fly ball to left his first time up.
And doesn't necessarily have to have a tremendous amount of velocity. Just look at the movement on the pitch.
And he got him to reach there. It's 1-2.
He's obviously not seeing the slider out of the hand. He struck him out on a sweeping slider away in his last at bat. And part of the debate too, that left hip may not feel real good right now, and he's trying to play with it. Who knows?
Needs to get in the weight room.
Getting a little pudgy?
Yeah, a little soft. 1-2 on Puig. And Puig pops it up. Shallow right, Kadire.
That's the other thing you want to see and deal with when you watch this young man play. How is he going to handle adversity? How's he going to handle that first 0 for 10? He hadn't had it yet. This league's been easy for him to play in. The next Purple Monday is July 22nd. Wear purple, win prizes, including autographed items, and the first 10,000 will receive a Rockies purple t-shirt courtesy of Coca-Cola.
Adrian Gonzalez with 2 outs and Ellis at first. Fastball outside, ball 1. Adrian with 12 home runs, 2 in this series. He has the average at .301. Here's his home run totals going back to '07 with the Padres: 30, 36, 40, 31, 27 his first year in Boston. Then last year, the combination of Boston and LA, 18. That's a strike. What was so impressive to me, George, we saw so many games that Gonzalez played in San Diego because they're a rival of the Rockies inside the NL West. You're hitting mid-30s to 40 home runs at Petco?
Yeah, Petco.
Your home park?
That was always such an impressive thing that he was able to do. Utilize that line down the right field line. This ball not hit hard at all. Cole in a camp under.
Good inning for Chacín. He'll get the Rockies right back to the dugout. They have a 5-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th in front of a sellout on the 4th of July. On Root Sports is brought to you by Ford Super Duty. Built stronger, built better. Built Ford tough, Ford Super Duty. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Rockies hope more runs are next. That's a beautiful young lady. And that's a pretty good get up on that
rock pile there,
behind.
baby. They're up tall, up on top, having a good time. That's my outfit. I loaned it to that guy, but I said, do not wear it to the game.
He did.
Wow, I can't believe he wore my outfit to the game.
You'd be a sight to behold in that thing.
Ringlesby got one just like it.
Now that would really be a sight. In fact, no. Tyler Colvin in the 4th inning, then Chacín in the top of the order.
Told him he can't wear brown dress shoes with it, though. Yeah.
He wears cowboy boots, though, can't he?
I'm talking about the guy in center field.
I'm talking about the cowboy.
He doesn't wear anything but cowboy boots.
I think it's all an act. He gets up there to the ranch outside of Cheyenne.
I've seen him ride the horse.
Flip-flops outside, slippers inside.
No, I've seen him ride the horse. I've seen him on the back.
Oh, 0-1 on Colvin. Capuano gave up 4 runs last inning. Rockies can get some traffic into that middle of the lineup again, George. They can make it another short night for Capuano.
That's what you're trying to accomplish. Get into their bullpen, make them work a little harder.
Off the end of the bat, and Ethier in left field will make the catch. That'll bring up Chassin. A reminder that if you have any sort of windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass. The phone number is 303-287-5000, or check them out online at safelite.com.
Yeah, big night every night. Big night tonight.
Puig's got a long run again, and he'll get there this time.
All around minor league baseball, major league baseball, the home games with the fireworks. Springs sold out, Tulsa sold out. Good times. Modesto sold out also. Jeff Francis starting down at the Springs. Couple of innings so far, a run given up. They had Skaggs scheduled starter down in the Springs for Reno. He was scratched. Mock is starting, so Skaggs scheduled, as we said earlier, be there first game against the Rockies in Arizona.
And Skaggs in his last outing, I think it was 8 1/3 shutout, 13 punch-outs, top prospect for Arizona. Since you mentioned it, George, what's next is brought to you by CenturyLink. Here's the pitching matchups over the weekend in the desert. De La Rosa and Skaggs, Pomerantz and fellow left-hander Wade Miley, and then it's Oswald against left-hander Patrick Corbin.
Good news last night, Chad Bettis started for the Driller Ball Club in Tulsa in 5 innings, a run given up on 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 3. Been a couple of months since he was back on the hill, so it's good news to see him up. Drew, this is an area of the ballpark we want you to stay totally out of.
You and I both. They put on every year one of the best fireworks displays I've ever seen. Mayhew went, and it's 2-2. DJ a double and a single so far this evening. 5-2 Colorado in the 4th. Inside.
Trying to break the hands up a little bit there. For those of you wanting to know, Richie Dower managing the San Antonio club, doing a pretty good job down there. They're 45-37 overall. They lead the Drillers in this game tonight, 3-0.
Strike 3 on DJ.
High cutter there. I think he got one-handed.
So 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Capuano, but the Rockies lead at 5-2.
Airlift Wing out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Just want to give a big shout out to my family, friends, everyone in Colorado. Happy birthday, America. Go Rockies! Yeah,
baby. They nailed it.
I like it.
5-2 Rockies. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout, Hanley Ramirez, Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp in the 5th against Jolie Chassin. Pitched out of a bases loaded situation in the 3rd with 1 out. Pretty quiet inning in the 4th. And the first pitch in there to Ramirez, who is 0 for 1 and a walk. Hanley riding a 14-game hitting streak. Ramirez, interestingly, has played the same number of games as Yasiel Puig. Deep short. Rutledge has got to air it out. Low throw. Todd came up with it. Held on. Rolled over. Out at first base. You kidding me?
Yeah, that's
he's going to
why,
go
folks.
to Rutt and he's going to say, hey, listen, next month I'm going to turn 40. Help me out a little bit.
Yeah, don't be afraid to throw it all the way across. I mean, Rutledge worked on this yesterday. The ball's hit pretty hard here. He's going to get behind the baseball. A little bit of a slip now. It scoots on him. Helton able to pick this thing, but he kept that right foot on the bag. Look right here. Bam. Foot's on the bag. Catches it. All one action. Everything comes off. Now he's trying to get out of the way of the runner and loses his balance.
And Hanley chuckling a little bit. He is, I mean, we say it so frequently. I have never seen anybody close to him in picking the ball out of the dirt.
65 picks 2 years ago, which led all of National League and American League clubs. Almost 20 more that resulted in an out.
Ethier takes outside. It's 1-1. Oh, it's our Toyota Talk inning. Here's our first question. You seem to have shots from everywhere. How many cameras do you have? We have 137 cameras that we utilize on these broadcasts. That's pulled fast. How many cameras do we have? We have 14. There's Drew. Drew wave. There's Sammy in the witness protection program. There's Dougie pointing out that Sammy's in the witness protection program. Raj and BP, Brian Peters. There's Bo. Bo's taking time out from watching Wimbledon 24/7 to put in a little camera work. All your favorites, Bo, are out of the tournament, by the way. And you can't see him right now, but that's Speedy and Johnny running those cameras. This ball lined to right, a base hit for Ethier. Matt Kemp will come up. Kemp is 2 for 2, a 2-run home run to supply the entirety of the Dodger offense so far, and also a single in the 3rd. What's your opinion on Puig going to the All-Star game? I very strongly think that, you know, as great a young talent as he is, I just think it's unfair if he takes the spot of somebody that has produced 3 months of all-star worthy resume material.
And it may be easier to put him on now with 34-man roster too. That may help a little bit.
And the example I use is there's no question. I mean, this guy's a thrill a minute watching him. But if he takes Michael Kadyr's spot, for instance,
well, you're going to be grumpy. I'm going to be grumpy.
Kadyr's put together a great first half, not 28 games worth of baseball, 3 months worth of baseball, with the exception of a 2-week DL stint. You know, if you're going to take Puig, you might as well take Hanley Ramirez. They've played the same number of games. Hanley's hitting over 400 also, right?
Yeah, right. Of course, the one thing you're going to deal with too is a little bit of a time lapse. You know, the guys on the All-Star team all the way from L.A. The Rockies players and Dodgers fly all the way to New York, about a 5.5-hour flight, play the game, and then come back here to Denver to start the second half against the Cubs. Every year it seems like it gets a little tougher. You're looking at me quizzically. Is that not the schedule?
Yeah, they're in LA.
And the All-Star game's in New York last time I checked, unless they moved it in the last week.
Oh, I thought you were talking about from Denver. Okay.
Yeah, you're flying
with
from LA all the way to New York and then turn around and come back. It's a lot of time in the air.
I'm with you, partner. What's the hardest part about long road trips? Ken and Durango.
Getting in at 4 in the morning.
You know what?
You know, cities, different beds.
I think it depends on the individual. And for me,
broadcasters, it's great because we don't have to play. We just have to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
You know, that part's great. For the playing side of things, sometimes it get a little rough on you.
I think for most people, it's being away from, and I know this is true for you, George, as well.
Absolutely.
Being away from your family. That's number 1, 2, and 3. It's right. Vinny's birthday's today. Vinny's going to be out on this road trip. Happy birthday, guys.
How come Vinny's going on this one and he doesn't go to like Pittsburgh, Milwaukee?
Because he's smart.
Well, quite honestly, the only time the ball club goes to San Diego, such a tremendous following from Mexico comes over.
This ball lined to left center field. Carr goes there. He comes on, makes the catch. Kemp's retired. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Fedorovich.
He did very well the other night, by the way. I mean, I say very well. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs for Aaron Cook. And it's the first initial start since coming off the DL. It's been about almost 40 days, or 45 days since he's pitched in an actual ball game, and he was on a limit of 55 pitches. He threw 54 and 5. I'd heard from 2 or 3 scouts in Tacoma he was up to 93 again. A good sink on his fastball. Yeah, that's one of those hidden deals. It could be a nice shot in the arm if he's able to come out and throw strikes and stay healthy and do what he needs to do.
Slider over for a strike on Fedorovich. Ideal night, 77 degrees. And it's bounced foul. Fedorovich was a 7th-round pick of the Red Sox 5 years ago. It's fouled off. Good catch in the upper deck. First row, barehanded catch. Well done. And a little smooch.
I'm watching.
The kiss cam's on him.
Come on. Oh, I love it. Brian, here's your buddy. No hugging the camera, guys, okay? So, Brian, I know with that headset on you can listen. What's the cost to switch suits and come back and run the camera with that suit on?
Brian may rip that thing.
Well, maybe not.
USA. I don't know if it'll fit. I don't know if it'll fit.
Don't know if you get over your head.
Stop throwing 405 on the bar, then it would fit. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Chassin strikes out Fedorovich. And Ethier left at first base. Middle of 5. The Rockies up 5-2.
Springs, Colorado. Happy 4th of July to my wife, Kristen, my 2 kids, Kylie and Jacob. See y'all real soon.
5-2 Rockies. Thank you, sir. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Rutledge, Gonzalez, and Kadire to face Capuano. It's been on again, off again for Asia in the ballgame for Capuano. The Rockies got a run off him in the first, 1-2-3 in the second, got 4 off him in the third, 1-2-3 in the fourth. So the odd innings have been good, and we're in the 5th.
And the 5th, so you're saying how many?
3.
I like that.
You okay with that?
I'm all right with that. Push the ball hard enough on a bunt right now, you can run forever. Gonzalez playing about 25 feet behind first. Rutledge with that base hit up the middle, though, you kind of get the positive vibes going for him.
Hey, by the way, we were talking about all-star voting earlier. You have about 2 hours and 7 minutes left to vote for the 2013 All-Star team. That ball cuts way inside.
9:59 Mountain Time.
And here's an update on the 84th National League All-Star voting. Votto leading at first. Brandon Phillips, David Wright, Tulowitzki will win at shortstop. Beltran, Cargo, and Upton as of the other day. Cargo running second in the outfield. Yadier Molina behind the plate, just in front of Buster Posey, the reigning MVP of the National League. Dyer, you know, Michael wasn't in the top 15, which is just flat wrong among outfielders. He and Gonzalez are 1-2 in slugging percentage in the National League. Cuddy's second in hitting in the National League. This ball line toward right center field. Puig can't make the catch. Got to play chase. Barehanded grab, and he's going to fire it in. But it's a double for Rutledge. What do you say about the odd innings?
Yeah, you said 3 this inning. I'm going to hold you to it.
Well, I'm going to do my part. I'm going to call it.
You got it. 5th double of the year for Rutledge, 25th of his career. Ball down and away from him, takes it to the opposite field. Starting to see the power of what you saw last year from Rutledge. That ball squared up, and it's just off to the races. He's not going to have a shot at second for Puig's throw to get Rutledge. Now you've got 3, 4, and 5 coming up. We're off to a good start to Drew's prediction of 3.
Cargo a double and a fielder's choice. He scored a run. And he takes ball 1. Cargo leading the league in home runs with 23, among the league leaders in RBIs. He leads in runs scored, total bases. He leads in extra base hits. And he leads in slugging percentage, as I mentioned. And he needs a new bat.
They've made more. Pretty popular bat, the one that has Gonzalez's name on it.
I bet.
You thinking they wanted that ball away? That's looked like where they didn't go, but this one right underneath the labels.
Brandon Lee, who used to be the closer for the Dodgers, he has hit some hard times, so they've moved him into middle relief.
Well, and it's a good thing to kind of get your feet back on the ground if you've been that closer. No pressure. You're down. Your club's down 3. Could be more by the time you get in the game. Just to come in and kind of get settled back in again and work your way back to it. Yeah, that's the biggest advantage of the American League. When you start to struggle as a reliever, you go out there and at times when the starter gets blown out, get some more innings in. You get Cargo. That's one domino Drew didn't want to see fall. With his production of 3, that's a pretty good one up there swinging with a guy in scoring position.
Let's check the Coors Light freeze cam. Some images from this 4th of July from 20th and Blake. It's always one of my favorite scenes when they unfold that great American flag that literally spans from left center field to right center field. There's some of the ladies in town playing softball in a big tournament locally. Coors Light freeze cam.
Donnie Mattingly waiting to hear if League was ready. He is. Capuano's going to give him the ball. Managers don't care for that very often. When there's a walking up to the mound, the pitcher comes to meet you and hand the baseball. An old-fashioned rule to wait till they all show up.
Rockies up 5-2. That sunset. Rockies would like to set down the Dodgers the rest of the way and steal 1 of 3 here from LA. They've knocked Chris Capuano out of there, so Brandon League is aboard. Brandon League, when things are going well, gets a lot of ground ball outs, but he has an ERA on the road above 7. Kadire up there, a 2-run double last time we saw him.
4 ERA in April. Since that time, 6.87. So you're right. I mean, they haven't been good numbers for Brandon League, a guy typically on top of things. Run the ball up into the mid-90s at times.
And the slider misses. Good pickup by Fedorovich. Rutledge has to stay at second. Fedorovich has given up runs in each of his last 2 outings. And a good eye by Kadire. It's 3-1. Saved 37 games in 2011 for Seattle. Won 37 out of 42 that year in the 9th inning. 1 out, Rutledge at second, and that's ball 4. I'll bring up Rosario.
Important time of the ball game too, because here you set in the 5th, you're down 3, you don't want to get crazy with it. The middle of his lineup's going to come up to hit again, probably in the 6th, and again in the 8th or start of the 9th. So you're building, if you're managing against what the Rockies are going to do, you need to stop right now. You don't need any add-ons.
Rosario's seen League just twice, 0 for 2. League originally came up with the Blue Jays. It's the 1-0 on Rosario. And a line shot, base hit center field. Rutledge will cut the bag at 3rd. He'll come home with the Rockies' 6th run. And Kadire will stop at second base. Willeen continues to swing the bat. 2 RBI night. He now has a 9-game hitting streak.
And the nice thing about this, Walt has been able to find days to slow it down a little bit, keep him well rested, and it's been hot in Denver lately, so he and Torrealba have done a nice job splitting this up. He does a really good execution of taking the ball down on that Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Really see it, go down and get the ball, drive it up the middle, and then Rutledge easy score.
Well, stays off that ball 1. One of the reasons that Walt Weiss has been able to do that, George, be a little more judicious with not overwhelming the young catcher, is because not only does he have Torrealba behind him, he's a great manner, but Torrealba has swung the bat real well, so he's warranted, a few more starts.
In Denver, you always want to look at the combination of 2, because one catcher's not going to catch 140 games like it has everywhere else in baseball, and you put the combination together, and it's a pretty good combination. 52 RBIs between the 2 catchers and a 270 average. And then, Torrealba has not hit a home run yet. That's one thing. But then again, you look up at what's happening. Rosario's hit 13 home runs with 2 RBIs tonight. So, I mean, it's 52 RBIs. Their average is sitting right around 277, 278 between the 2, a little bit higher.
Actually higher because Torrealba's almost at 300. He's at 299. Todd, ground ball, base hit. Kadire around 3rd, gets a green light. Puig's throw to the plate is not in time. and offline. It is 7-2. Helton with his 29th RBI.
We talked about tacking on. They're tacking on. They're tacking it on. Don Mattingly and the pitching staff of the Dodgers right now.
And we've got tacos as well, second straight night.
Yeah, they're trying to get through this inning. League sinker down and away, Helton out of the reach of everybody, and drives in his 29th. Real well offline from Puig, and Kadire safe.
Book, by the way, closed on Capuano as Arenado fouls it off. Capuano 4 1/3, 6 runs, 5 earned, 7 hits, a walk, and 3 punch-outs. And as I mentioned, the Rockies have rung that bell again. 7 runs. So go to Taco Bell tomorrow. You're participating Colorado Taco Bell locations. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. And Root Sports, along with Taco Bell, will donate $250 to the Rockies. Excuse me, to the I Have a Dream Foundation. Slowly hit to second. Ellis will get 1, and that's it. Helton going in hard toward Hanley Ramirez.
Going in really hard. Todd with a little talk to him, but you know what? Just send a message. We're here to win. I liked it.
Thank you again for texting in your questions during Toyota Talk. We enjoy interacting with you. For more answers to your questions, visit the Root Sports Facebook page at Facebook.com/RootSportsRM, where Tracy Ringlesby's hanging out. There's a Cowboy along with Jeff Hewson.
He's only going to answer one bonus question tonight. I think he should answer 255,000 bonus questions tonight. Well, Brandon League, the struggles continue with a walk and 2 base hits. He allowed a run in of Rutledge score, which went to Capuano, the walk to Kadire, a base hit Rosario, base hit Helton, and now J.P. Howell will come into the ball game, the left-on-left combination to try to get Tyler Colvin. So now the Rockies. To break. I wanted to make sure that I said happy 4th to Andy Techner, who's down in Atlanta, taking us to break, throwing out the ads and commercials that you see, working on 4th of July. Andy, we thank you from Denver.
That's well put. Andy in our master control in Atlanta. J.P. Howell threw in the ball game yesterday, a scoreless inning. He had a couple of punch outs. There are 2 outs, runners at first and third for the Rockies. At third, Rosario. At first, Arenado. At the plate is Tyler Colvin. How many runs did I promise?
3.
We're at 2?
Yep.
Come on, Tyler, let's go.
Buddy Rockfire, hump shooter. Is that what you're looking for?
Not a baby.
Okay. You say so. I'm good with that.
Rosario is a third of the way down on that wide one from J.P. Howell. 2-0 on Coleman. Rutledge started the inning with a double. Kadire with 1 out walked. Rosario an RBI single. Helton an RBI single. And that's outside. Chacin's on deck. Hacking 3-1, and the left-hander Howell kind of figured he might be firing at a 3-0 fastball, and it went slider. Pitcher on deck. Seven runs, 9 hits for the Rockies. They've played clean defensively. The Dodgers do have an error. This is rolled up the middle with base hit. Rosario scores. Arenado goes first to third.
There's your 3.
I promised. Good to see Tyler Colvin chipping in. Gone through a rough period. He comes up with his 10th RBI.
Breaking ball away, it just hung though, but out of the reach of Mark Ellis, who was playing slightly to pull here. Ball hit up the middle. No chance to be played on it here. The run scores first and third, and now you got to deal with Chacin and a couple of outs. Chacin has swung the bat tonight to a tune of 1 for 2. He's hitting 500. How about that? What's his number on the year now? 218. Did he do it again?
He hits it pretty well. Kemp is there though. Oh, he's above 200. Rockies get 3 in the inning. 8-2. They lead. We go to the 6th. The game highlights brought to you by McDonald's. Now get a coffee, sausage, egg McMuffin, or hash browns for only $1 each on the dollar menu at breakfast. I'm loving it. The Rockies have done very well in the odd number innings. The third inning they would score 4 times. This is a 2-run double to center field from Michael Kadire. And look at Rutledge Cargo. playing chase. Both had to slide at the plate. Both were safe. 5th inning. Willie Rosario, a rocket up the middle to drive in a run. He's got a 9-game hitting streak. Todd Helton would walk up, and he would hit a hard ground ball through the right side that produced a run. And then it would be Tyler Colvin against J.P. Howell, an RBI single. And the Rockies have 8 runs on 10 hits. As we go to the 6th inning. Nick Punto leading things off against Chacin. Jolis looking for his 8th victory of the year. You know, Chacin came in with a 3.59 ERA this year, but George in his career a 3.66 ERA, which by Colorado standards almost unheard of. There's only one other guy who's produced a career mark of 3.66 as a starting pitcher that's worked a fair number of innings, and that is, of course, Ubaldo Jimenez.
Right, and again, I'm looking up there right now, 359 as is with him, 7 and 359 earned run average, 58 strikeouts, 30 walks, almost 2-to-1 there, so that's all good.
Two and two.
Time's running out. Don't forget tonight, you got to vote at 9:59 Mountain Time. You got to get it going right here for the All-Star game for Cargo, who's in 2nd right now. Push for Kadire, you bet. Maybe you'll get a hand pick out of Chacin, wins 8 games, possibly 9 before the All-Star break. So maybe he could get lucky and get on that thing. Who knows? Rex Brothers' name was mentioned the other day in USA Today. Long article about it as being one of the stingiest relievers in all of baseball. Maybe he could be on there as a left-hander. You just never know. Schumacher in the on-deck circle, though, with no double switches when Donnie was running the different pitchers in and out of there.
Borderline pitch, called a ball, 3-2. Like a strike, according to the Ford strike zone.
Well, then run down there and change it, will you?
Hold on.
Tell him what's going on.
That misses. And Chacin not happy. Punto goes to first. That's the 3rd walk allowed by Jolis.
95 pitches, too. That's part of it. A lot of pitches thrown. Altman's down there warming up right now for the Rockies. You've got left-handers coming up here shortly. You got Schumacher, the lefty. Then you got Ellis and Pugh, both right-handed hitters. And you got Gonzalez. Withrow's down warming up for the Dodgers, the right-hander.
And Schumacher takes a ball. Okay, George.
It's rubbing off on you. That's all I can say.
Stay away.
It's rubbing off. That's all I'm saying.
Stay away from me. Helton's got a tag play at 2nd. High throw. Safe. And safe on the backside.
Now you see Todd make that play so many times with the perfect throw. He'll be upset with himself, not able to turn a double play. You know, it's kind of a lead field throw, too, because what's going to happen, you're trying to lead that shortstop coming. That ball just sailed on Todd. You very rarely see that. You know, most of the time, Todd stays right behind this ball. He had a good 4-seamer. Sails it here, and you can see him kind of, you know what? Should have made that play. Base hitting an RBI, though, and a nice fielding play there by Todd. You like to have the double play for Chacin's sake.
That's a great camera angle from Bo McWilliams, because you saw, George, that there really wasn't a great throwing lane for Todd because of the runner.
And that's where, as a shortstop, you kind of got to stay off to the shortstop side to give him a good target and then make the tag. You know, in other words, let's watch where Rutledge is at. Not that he did anything wrong here, but he's coming straight in. Now you have the runner going right in front of you. So you're right. See, there's not a whole lot to throw to there.
He was on the inside part of the bag. It just
ball sailed away from him. Yeah, Rub was in the right place. Just not a typical strong throw by Todd. Just right on the money.
Mark Ellis at the plate. He's also talking about Helton. That throw aside, this ball lined toward Kadire. Michael will make the catch, tag it, and move to third is Punto. 2 outs. You know, we don't talk a lot about it, George. You were just mentioning it, but I think Todd's extensive pitching background and strong arm comes out in his play at first base.
93 miles an hour when he was in college. I mean, 93, he had a good one. You better believe it.
He has the longest shutout streak, not only in the University of Tennessee baseball program's history. It's one of the longest shutout stretches in the history of college baseball.
Right, and again, tonight, did he hit a lot of home runs? Well,
Puig with a base hit to drive in a run. He's got an 8-game hitting streak now. Second time since he was called up that he's produced an 8-game hitting streak.
Yeah, that's going to more than likely get Walt out of the dugout. 101 pitches. It's been since mid-April that we've seen Chacin go out beyond the 100-pitch mark.
You'd love to see him get Gonzalez, but Adrian, one of those dangerous left-handed bats, and you got a lefty and Outman ready to go.
That's going on. The right-hander's going. Walt's going to do this. Do the left-right combination. If that's what he has to do at Gonzalez, and you got Hanley Ramirez. He wants Escalona ready to get the right-hander. Altman's going to come get the lefty.
And Chacin hands the baseball to the skipper, and he'll walk off, and this sellout crowd will stand in appreciation. Joe Lease in line for his 8th victory of the year. Rockies need the stopper, and so far he has provided that. Tune in Friday after the game. Pay attention, George.
I'm listening.
It's Rockies real time. This week we'll take you down to Sky Sox country.
Now, we didn't have any hot tub when I was at AAA.
They got a hot tub down there now. Look, were you flying planes like this when we were AAA?
Dive bombing on everything.
Well, Charlie Blackmon and his buddies been flying planes. You'll check it all out. There's Matt McBride in the picture as well. It's Rockies real time Friday after the game right here on Root Sports.
McBride had a neck injury, had to have surgery now for the rest of the year. They've been beat up down there in AAA. Bobby Casanov's had a shoulder deal.
That's a shame because Matt was having an unbelievable year.
A great year, hitting 380, and then he had, Justin Burt came over from the Chicago Cubs, had the elbow issue again, and been able to throw. Let's look at Outman here, 2-0 on the year.
The guy he's facing, George, he said, he told me before the game, he said, it seems like every series I always match up with Gonzalez, and so far Gonzalez is 0 for 9.
Exactly. And guess what? You may get to keep matching up with him too. The Dodgers now 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Dougie said it sounded good. I think it's 2 for 9. I'm sorry. Well, it was 0 for 7 a minute ago.
.95-mile-an-hour fastball just missed. It's 2-1 on Gonzalez. Puig's at first base. He just drove in the 3rd Dodger run. For years, teams would have decent-sized leads against the Rockies. The manager on the other side. This ball's in the air to deep left, really deep left, and it's off the wall. And Puig's going to score. Oh, we jinxed him. First hit he's gotten off of Outman is a run-scoring double. And it's 8-4. I'm going to finish my thought. So many times the Rockies, behind 4 or 5 runs, and the other dugout's not resting easy because of the lineup the Rockies have, and knowing that it's Coors Field, you can score runs in bunches, and that's the feeling of Walt Weiss right now with this Dodger lineup.
Exactly, and that's what you get here now, because this lineup's scary, particularly the middle of this part. You're getting now into this. You got Hanley Ramirez, who's going to go up against Outman now. You see Puig coming around here. You get a little twitch in that hip area. Came up limping a little bit. Maybe he got the foot. Tough kid, though. After what happened to him yesterday in the lineup, most guys take a week off.
He looked like he was running pretty well.
Ramirez 0 for 1 against Outman in his career.
So Chacin picks up the run on that exchange with Outman.
Gotcha.
Looking at it, it's 20 feet away.
Did I get him, Sammy? I got him, didn't I? Sammy, I got him, didn't I?
And Jolie's still upset that he wasn't able to get through that inning.
Well, and I think, too, you go back to it. I mean, I'm sure Todd's upset that they couldn't turn a normal double play that he always has in the past. And, there's a lot of what ifs in it. And when you go into an inning like that, if you don't walk the leadoff man, the 8-hole hitter in the lineup, you don't have him on first to begin with.
1-1 on Ramirez. He's hitting .524 against the Rockies this year. It's not good. Doug, hand me a different set of notes.
Get a new computer, Doug. We don't like its answers.
And a swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Coming right out of the hand on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo. Hard slider, start way out big, break it in on him. A little bit of a hanger, you got away with it. Now put the nasty one on him and get him out of there.
Got him. In the inning, a couple of runs for the Dodgers. The Rockies' lead has been trimmed to 4 runs. It's 8-4, middle of 6. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local Dodge dealer today. And by the Honey Smoked Fish Company, Secrets in the Fire. It's a ready-to-eat superfood. Rockies leading 8-4, bottom of the 6th inning. Steve Withrow will be the new pitcher for the Dodgers.
Out of Austin, Texas, lives in Odessa now. First-round selection in the 07 draft by the Los Angeles Dodgers. 4 innings pitched so far, 675 earned run average. Last 3 years has pitched in Double-A Chattanooga. Worked as a starter, last year a reliever. 33-3, had 2 saves last year. Kind of came into their own with the strike zone though. 36 walks, 64 strikeouts last year in Double-A. And here you are, son. You're right smack in the middle of the pennant race. It's July, and you're in the big leagues, making your 5th appearance and taking on the Rockies. Top of the order, DJ LeMahieu. Did you say goodbye to Andy down in Atlanta in the last inning too and tell him to take it away?
Andy, nice job taking us to break and bringing us back.
Hey, remember that kid that ate the cotton candy that night? He had it all stuck in his hair and his head, all over the place. Where were we? He was just getting crushed with it. Not this one. There ain't nothing hitting the ground out of that can, bud. He's eating every ounce of that sugar.
He's a young Joey Chestnut. That's who he is. Joey consumed. He broke his own record. He consumed 60 hot dogs in Coney Island this afternoon in 10 minutes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you really watch that?
No.
Yes, you did.
I heard it on the radio. I heard it on the radio.
How did you know? You watched it, didn't you?
I couldn't watch it. I can't stomach to watch it.
Did he say he saw it on the radio, Doug? Is that what he said?
No, I heard it on the radio.
Well, he's really rubbing off now.
2-0 on LeMahieu. 3-0 on LeMahieu.
Beautiful crowd at Coors Field, packed house, little fireworks, and the Rockies are on top. Nothing's better than that, huh, partner?
No, good stuff. DJ's 2 for 3. Yeah, Chestnut's owned that event of late since he took over for Kobayashi. One of the great athletes in the country.
Well, how do you retire from hot dog eating?
Well, you move on to wings.
What'd you say? You go to nachos?
3-1. 3-2. That's got a big arm. She's casually enjoying the nachos.
She's sharing them.
If there was one food item, George, and I'm going to say this, that I think you could get involved in one of those competitions, it'd probably be hot dogs. Or bacon. Actually, bacon. You know what? Mike Fox corrected me. It's not. Hot dogs would be second.
I'm
bacon.
a really good bacon guy.
You're really good. You're all world, actually.
No, I actually had 6 strips this morning at Sam's with 4 sausage patties. 3 eggs over medium.
You're cutting back?
3 eggs over medium with the English muffin and some home fries. It's good breakfast.
That's a good breakfast for a family of 6. Josh Rutledge with LeMahieu at first, and DJ has stolen 11 out of 12. And he showed a leg kick there, George, and see if he's got a slide step.
Well, he's got a little bit of a leg kick, but it's quick. You know, the ball, it's up and down fairly fast. Drew goes to the stopwatch. Snap move over to first base. Latch checking out what he is to home plate. And he'll go back and make a note of that. They'll carry it over when they get their next scouting meeting on it. Big jump. DJ thought about it, made a leap out, and then went back. And then right then, you saw Federovich look out at him on the mound and go, hey, you need to look over here every now and then. Down Adrian Gonzalez going, you better look, better pick, better do something. Withrow's like, dude, this is my 5th game, okay? I'm trying to get the guy at home plate.
Don't give me too much to think about.
Heading the count 0-2. You wonder Rutledge might have faced Withrow when they were down in the Springs versus the Albuquerque Dukes, or the Isotopes now. Good friends down in Albuquerque. Watch a lot of Rockies baseball. That wasn't close to the plate. That was close to the dome, meaning the head of Josh Rutledge. Scary. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo 4-seam fastball, one on the outer half of the plate. Nowhere near it. Running start.
DJ is out at second base.
Are you kidding me? To be honest, this exchange by Fedorovich behind the plate is unbelievable. I mean, this is a bad breaking ball up. Look at this. High, he snags, and then it is right on the money. You can see why he's one of the top catching prospects for their ball club in the organization. 6 of 12 now in stolen bases for this young catcher. Man.
Well, A.J. Ellis is leading baseball. He's cutting down 51.5%.
And then they got a good combination. Is that what you're saying? Look at this transition here. High, hands up. I mean, you can't do any better. Look at that balance. And a snap throw down to second base. You know, catchers like to sit back there and give you a little fist pump, doing a couple other things. And, you know, like, shot you down.
Absolutely. They take great pride in controlling that running game. 3-2. Fargo's on deck.
Pretty nasty there. Right on the outside corner, second out of the inning.
97.
You see a wide number 1 draft pick.
It's George, listen, you didn't play all that long ago. And you saw, you know, you threw the ball pretty hard. You had Goose Gossage. I mean, you had some guys who threw hard. Does it not seem like in today's game, there are guys rolling out in the 6th inning, throwing 95 to 98?
And the crazy thing is, a lot of closers now aren't the 96, 97s when you take Kimbrell out of the equation. But they could throw it right to the corner on the knees down. They got a secondary pitch they can do it with. They don't walk people. Dickerson's coming on to hit for Gonzalez here.
Yeah, something obviously happened to Cargo. Well, that's not good. You know, when you went back on that baseball, George, it's almost like he lost it at the last instant because he covered up on the double by Adrian Gonzalez. But I never saw him limp. Did you?
No, never saw anything leg issue wise. Keith Duggar sitting in the dugout right now.
That's what this is the only play I could think of. He goes back, pops off the wall after covering up. Well, as soon as we find out, we'll let you know.
Yep.
Cargo was 1 for 3, an RBI double and a run scored tonight before departing. Two and one. That's easy heat too. What I mean by that is there's some guys it looks like max effort and they're grunting a little bit. This guy's pretty smooth. That's all for Dickerson. So it turns into a 1-2-3 inning despite the walk. We'll go to the 7th. The Rockies 8, the Dodgers 4.
Southwest Asia, representing the 302nd Airlift Wing. Happy 4th of July.
And again, we thank you, all the good folks from Peterson Air Force Base, serving in the Middle East currently. Corey Dickerson, who pinch hit for Carlos Gonzalez, is going to stay in the game naturally in left field where Cargo is playing, and we'll find out again what the situation is. Outman's breaking ball, a strike to Ethier. 0-1. Center field, and Colvin will come on and make the catch. 1 out. That'll bring up Matt Kemp.
Wednesday, July 24th, Coca-Cola and Ronald McDonald Day at Coors Field. That's right. Patients, families, and volunteers will be acknowledged throughout the day as part of a special recognition courtesy of Coca-Cola. Get your tickets for that ball game against the Marlins. It's July 24th.
Now Walt's going to come out, and he wants a right-hander to face Kemp, and then Fedorovich after Kemp. 1 out in the 7th inning. The Rockies 8 and the Dodgers 4 on this 4th of July.
Between you.
One out in the 7th inning. Matt Kemp coming up, and Edgemar Escalona is going to face him. We think we may have found what the situation is with Carlos Gonzalez. When he struck out in his last at bat, look as he kind of reaches for his back, wiggles his shoulder. He gets inside the dugout, and Keith Duggar starts working on that back.
He got a hold of something right there, I can tell you that. Doogie's earned his pay this year. Wow, and he went straight to Walt right after.
So that has to be the reason that he was eventually removed from the game. Escalona will face Kemp. A 2-run home run, a single, and a fly ball to left field. All of those at bats against Chacin Jolice in line for his 8th victory. Went 5 2/3, gave up 4 runs, 9 hits, walked 3, struck out 4.
Escalona worked the other night in the ball game. First game against the Dodgers, and any couple of hits and a run.
Ground ball to third. Arenado. 2 outs. Dodgers have won 4 straight. They've won 10 of 11. They've made up 7 games on the division. There's only one team in the NL West that's above 500, and that's Arizona. The Diamondbacks won in 15 innings tonight in New York, 5-4. So they're now 44 and 41. The Rockies in a virtual tie with the Dodgers. And then you have the Padres and the Giants. Punto fouls it back.
Back, grab you some new lumber on that one. Ate that bat right up.
Two strikes on Fedorovich. '25-year-old catcher backing up A.J. Ellis, and that's a foul ball down the right field line, out of play.
You go back to the Dodgers, you think of their catchers they've had in recent years. Paul LaDuca, pretty good job of what he did there. Russell Martin after that. And so now A.J. Ellis, kind of the older guy, took a long time to get here. So they've got some catchy prospects, but they're in the lower levels right now waiting to come.
This is hit a long way down the left field line. It is a foul ball.
First 10,000 fans 21 years and older through the gates on Saturday, July 20th. You're going to receive a 20th anniversary commemorative cup courtesy of Coors Light. So make sure you get to the ballpark for that. Rockies.com/specials for your tickets with the Cubs in town. That's on Saturday, July 20th.
Got it. Escalona strikes out Fedorovich. He gets the 2 outs in the 7th inning. Stretch time on this 4th of July. The Rockies 8. And the Dodgers 4. As we stick around for a rendition of God Bless America on our country's birthday. Enjoy, everybody.
For a special recognition, the Colorado Rockies are proud to host and honor those who sacrifice on behalf of us all. With us on the field this evening is Gunnery Sergeant Brian Housel. Gunnery Sergeant Housel enlisted in the Marine Corps in October 2001 and is currently with the 1st Battalion, 11th Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton, California. Brian is joined on field this evening by his wife, father, mother, and brother. Fans, please give a warm Coors Field Heroes welcome to Gunnery Sergeant Brian Housel and all of our nation's brave men and women, as well as the families of our heroes. We thank you for your sacrifice and service to our great nation. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America tonight, representing the headquarters Air Force Space Command at Peterson Air Force Base, is Lieutenant Colonel Kat Struess. Please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Struess and join her by singing along to God Bless America.
God bless America, land From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my
Rockies lead the Dodgers 8-4 as they come to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. Are you the ultimate Rockies fan in South Dakota or Nebraska? Show us why you're the ultimate fan by taking a picture through Instagram or Twitter and tagging you with a Root Fan SD or Root Fan NE hashtag. For official rules, visit facebook.com/RootSportsRN.
Yeah, the young right-hander back out on the hill again. A hard-throwing right-hand. 2 punch-outs to finish the inning. He'll get Kadire.
And
That's
Michael takes
heat right there.
Yeah, takes ball 1.
10 balls, 9 strikes, though. That's the key to not having a whole lot of success at this level. Last pitch, 96 miles an hour.
Right center field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Michael Kadire makes it 9-4.
Well, sometimes the harder you throw it, the farther they go, son.
His 15th Jack of the year.
First time in this young pitcher's big league career they've taken him deep. Kadire took him deep right center. Dead red fastball, got after it. He knew it. Toss of that bat, folks. You see a professional just toss the bat to the side. Pretty good indication he got it, and he did.
Willeen Rosario, 1 for 2. And a sac fly. He's got 2 ribbies tonight.
That's called pretty picture.
What a year Michael Kadyr's put together. Curveball for a strike.
By the way, down in the Springs tonight, Francis 5 innings, 2 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Nick Smith's in for it.
Their last 2 outings for Jeff have been real good.
Yeah, Ryan Wheeler 1 for 2. He's going to the All-Star game with an RBI.
He was up earlier with the Rockies.
Charlie Blackmon 0 for 2 in that ball game. Francis, nice job today. 8 ground ball outs for Jeff, keeping the ball down in the strike zone. Tulsa, the only club to win the first half. They'll be in the playoffs again. They were last year also.
And Rosario's gone. First out, the 7th. You know, since that 27-game hitting streak for Kadir ended, he's 3 for 6, a home run, 4 RBIs. He's thrown out 3 walks and he scored 4 runs.
Pretty good right there, folks.
So it's really catapulted him into a horrendous slump. I think my favorite stat, in addition to the 27-game hitting streak for Kadir, is that there's only, I believe, 6 games that he does not have a hit in this year. Think about that.
Yeah, for me, it's getting on base. What was it, 47 straight ball games?
46 straight.
Yeah, 46 straight games he got on, and with the hit streak included, but he was getting on base, scoring runs, and doing things.
It's the longest since Kevin Millar in 07 reached 52 straight with the Red Sox. One and 2 on Helt. Todd a walk and a base hit tonight to drive in a run. He's 1 for 2. Pacheco figures to get at least 1, if not 2 starts over the weekend with the number of left-handers the Rockies are going to see.
Well, you're going to catch Corbin. I mean, that's one guy. Todd Helton said best slider I've seen in 17 years. So Corbin's 9-1 now. You're going to catch him. Wade Miley start the second ball game, and Skaggs the other lefty. Got 3 in a row.
Got 3 in a row. So Todd's played 4 straight. So Todd's not going to play tomorrow, you would think, against
not on
the
travel
kid.
day. Difficult to do on a travel day to him.
Now the big wild card that enters things is how bad is the muscle situation in the upper back with Cargo.
Don't want to even think about it. Hope it's a cramp. Well, it was great the other day on Monday, the off day. Went up to Todd's ranch, spent the day with him. Hour and a half interview. You'll see here a week from Friday. But one of the things he brought out was, this is the best my body's felt in 3 years, 4 years. I mean, think about it. Back surgery, knee surgery, labrum surgery. You ought to feel better. Got a whole new backside for you. You know, so, but that's a good thing for Todd. I'm glad the back's in great situation.
Look forward to that interview. 9-4 Colorado leading, 2-1 count on Nolan Arenado. He didn't pick that up at all, did he? That's high heat at 97. And the 3rd strikeout for Chris Withrow. But in the inning, Michael Kadir took that fastball and turned it around deep into the night. And the Rockies with a 5-run lead.
2nd Airlift Wing, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Hope you're all having a great summer and a happy 4th of July. I'd like to give a great shout out to my family and my friends. Go Rockies!
Rockies leading 9-4. Ronald Belisario is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Matt Belisle is on to throw the 8th inning. Nick Punna will be the first out there. Matt's had a good deal of rest.
Belisle has had some rest, and I think the other day, the 1-2-3 inning that he had, inning in the third actually, the aggressiveness that he showed with his fastball and being able to put it right where he wanted to kind of cleared the air the other day. And I think getting it out in the open, talking about it, you know what, I stunk, I'm going to do some due diligence. I'm going back to what Matt Belisle does, and that is throw an awful lot of strikes.
And he's ahead 0-2 on Punto. 2/3 of an inning for Escalona that included a strikeout. And Punto waves at that fastball. Pinch hitting in the pitcher spot will be Jerry Hairston. This time we've seen Jerry involved in the series. Two for 14 this year.
What makes the separation of a pretty good closer, a guy that works in the 7th and 8th inning of ball games, is the ability to pound the zone. 4 for 4 strikes now for Matt Belisle. Jinxed him.
Yep. Killed him. Those are
time frame. That's a little
Elitch's.
ahead. That's a little ahead. Okay, they're supposed to wait a little longer. Wasn't that pretty? Man, against those mountains. Sunset. A lot of good about that.
That's a fair ball. And Hairston's going to have a double. Fifth double for Jerry Hairston. Cost him a bat. He doesn't mind. Jerry's now 8 for 16 against the Rockies this year. That'll bring up Mark Ellis.
Just sawed it off right into his hands. Got that front side cleared. You got Arenado off the line. It's the 8th inning. You got a big lead right now by 5 runs. If you're late in the game like this in a 1 or 2 run game, that ball's probably caught because you're going to be hugging the line down to third baseline.
Want to know on Mark Ellis, 0 for 3 night with a walk in the 4th inning for Mark. 36-year-old second baseman, long time member of the Oakland Athletics. Here in Denver for a time, classy guy. He's in that Kadire, Jamie Carroll mold. Line drive. Ooh, a catch by Rutledge.
Here's the thing. When things are going well for you and you hang a pitch, you get a line drive out. When things are going poorly, you break bats, they hit bases, and they end up doubles. Things this time turned for Matt his way. Hit hard, but right at Rutledge because of his position defensively. Slightly playing to pull. Snags it. LA tonight 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. The Rockies hitting .500. 6 for 12.
Here's Yasiel Puig. He had an RBI single last time up. He's 1 for 4. Chacín Got him to hit a couple of fly balls. He also struck him out. Puig's average is dipped to 434, clearly in danger of being sent back to Albuquerque.
Double-A. They're not going. He's got to go back to Chattanooga.
Does he?
Yeah.
Hairston at second, 2 outs in the 8th. And a chopper that should be an easy play for LeMahieu. And he'll get Puig barely at first. Puig hurt himself going over the bag. 9-4 Colorado. There are fireworks going off everywhere around town, and soon at Coors Field. Rockies up 9-4, bottom of the 8th inning on the 4th of July. Hope everybody's had a splendid afternoon with their friends and family. Rockies trying to salvage 1 out of 3 against the Dodgers. Ronald Belisario will throw the 8th inning. For LA, Chris Withrow goes a couple of innings. He gives up a run on the home run by Kadire.
And how could you not be impressed? Up to 97, 4 strikeouts. Yeah, he gave up that home run. Belisario will come into this ball game 3-5 record, 35 1/3, 433 earned run average. Trying to work through the bottom of this lineup before it flips over on him. Jordan Pacheco in the on-deck circle. Everybody starting to cheer those fireworks you were talking about earlier. They're down to, looking over out the upper deck down to third base area.
Belisario fires inside on Colvin.
Yeah, the ending's happening there. The beginning will be happening here in about 30 minutes.
Slowly hit to first, chance for an infield hit. Belisario got the flip in time from Adrian Gonzalez, 1 out. So that'll bring up Jordan Pacheco to pinch hit. Bonus fireworks for everybody in the house tonight. Well, not everybody. Folks in left field, excuse me, down the third base line behind the plate couldn't see those fireworks. But on the right side, everybody got a clear view.
Betancourt warming up down in the Rockies bullpen, more than likely coming on here to pitch the 9th inning, getting some work in.
Well, he's always had a wicked hard sinker, hasn't he?
Yes, he does.
It's got the same arm angle and velocity that we see from Escalona. Ball and 2 strikes on Pacheco. Here's 1-2 to Jordan and a bouncing ball to Mark Ellis. It's the second out of the inning. It'll bring up DJ LeMahieu. DJ's 2 for 3 and a walk tonight. Doing a good job at the top of that lineup right now in the absence of Dexter Fowler. I talked to Dexter earlier. So the hand's feeling better. He wants to be full go on the day he comes off the disabled list, or is scheduled to come off the disabled list, the 11th of July.
Well, the key to that is you got to be 100%. You can't come off, take one swing, get in trouble with it. You know what I mean? You just can't do it. You got to make sure it's there.
And if he's able to do that, that means he'd be playing the entire series against the Dodgers next week in LA. It's 4-game set beginning next Thursday. Tonight is game number 86 for the Rockies. What you hope for Colorado is that they can play. There's another hit for DJ. They can play in the neighborhood, George, in the neighborhood of 60 games to conclude the regular season with Tulowitzki, with Fowler, with Cargo, with Kanaya.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you do that, and now you got to look out, folks. It's going to get real interesting in late September. It's going to be fun. They finish the season against these Dodgers in LA.
Rutledge hits it on the ground to Ramirez. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies will try to close out LA. They're up 9-4. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Ram Trucks, Guts Glory Ram. Rockies looking for 3 more outs. They're up 9-4 on the Dodgers, trying to snap that Dodger 4-game winning streak and snap a 3-game losing streak for Colorado. With the details of the Toyota post-game show, here is the Cowboy in living color. Cowboy.
Hey, Drew, we're getting ready for the Independence Day postgame show out there in center field, brought to you by Toyota, a red, white, and blue postgame show. We got red hot Michael Kadire. Hitting streak ended on Tuesday, singled on Wednesday to get going again. Then tonight, 2-run double in the third inning, scores on a sacrifice fly by Rosario, and then hits a home run. We've got white stripes for Jhoulys Sachin. Was he great? No, but he was good tonight. He did what a commander for a pitching staff needs to do. He kept the Rockies in a game, and you know what? He's in line now to win his 5th decision in a row, which is the best of his career. Dodger Blues. The Rockies finally slow the Dodgers down. They go back a full game ahead of the Dodgers into second place in the National League West as they get ready to face the division-leading Arizona Diamondbacks in Phoenix tomorrow.
Cowboy, you did that good. I'm proud of you, man.
You taught me well, George, on the ride from the hotel.
Hey, Cowboy, where's that shirt you had last year for the 4th of July? The red, white, and blue?
Well, they said all you guys were wusses and you wanted to wear short sleeve shirts, so I couldn't wear long sleeves.
But we were looking for them today. We were going to bring one for you. We were going to get one for you, Drew.
You always set yourself apart. You wear that next 4th of July, okay?
You got it, buddy.
I'll pay your fine.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit. That's Tracy and the gang. They'll be raring to go in a few minutes as soon as Rafael Betancourt nails this thing down. And for Rafi, even though it's not a safe situation, getting a little work. You know the cliche in baseball, keep your closer fresh. 3 on the right side as Adrian Gonzalez will come to bat, then Hanley Ramirez and Andre Ethier. Adrian shortened up to bunt to look at a pitch. I mean, that's funny because the last thing Adrian Gonzalez is going to do is lay down a bunt.
Well, you never know.
You and I both know.
Dougie, when was the last time he got a bump base hit? Come on. No, Ty Cobb, the guy at the plate.
Adrian's a bright guy. He realizes that he can't hit a 5-run home run here. They need base runners. But
he get a bump base hit and they pinch run for him.
He's had 3 knocks tonight.
Yeah, I have to swing the bat. Count it 1-1.
Well, he hits this ball to deep center field. He may have gotten it.
He did.
He's hit a home run in each game in this series. That's his 13th. Fortunately, it's a solo home run. The Rockies are still up by 4 runs.
Yeah, look at this. It's going to look like fastball. They wanted away from him. Not that bad a pitch. You put it on. I'd like to see it on Mike Shaw. That's exactly what I wanted. Outside corner, on the knees, maybe even a little bit lower than that, and he just golfed this thing to dead center field. Strong man, folks.
And I'm glad you described it that way, George, because so frequently you say, oh, you know, he hit a mistake.
That wasn't a mistake.
That was a mistake. That's a good pitch.
Yeah, very good pitch from Betancourt.
Good pitch, better swing, right?
You know, we just got to remember, these guys practice too.
Hanley Ramirez has a 14-game hitting streak on the line, 0 for 3 and a walk tonight. He had 4 hits in the affair yesterday. Think back, George, the last 20 years that we've watched the Dodgers on a regular basis. You know, they had Piazza there in the middle of that lineup for a while also. They had Sean Green, right?
Yep.
This is as deep a lineup as I've ever seen them have.
By far. By far it is. They're going to get Crawford back. It's only going to get better. Don Mattingly's got some tools to fix the car with now.
When our good friend Jim Tracy had the team in 04, they had Adrian Beltre. I mean, they had some people who could swing it.
You bet.
But this lineup is frightening.
It's a kind of a lineup, a lot like the Rockies when everybody's healthy. When you have Tulowitzki, Gonzalez all healthy and playing. You know, it's a manager's dream, is what it is. You'd love to manage either one of these teams.
Sure.
Yeah.
Two and 1 on Ramirez. 2-2 as soon as that one lands.
Betancourt try to get the punch out here. See if he'll go with the fastball away or breaking ball away, whatever they're going away on the outer half of the plate. This fastball hit hard right out of the reach of LeMahieu to right field for a base hit.
And Ramirez's 15-game hitting streak.
When you're trying to get your closer work, you've heard us talk an awful lot about it. You want to minimize pitches. He's at 8 right now. You get in that danger zone when it gets above 25 for Walt.
Is that overrated, George, honestly?
Yeah, well, to me it is, but I played in a different era, Drew, because it's hard for me to compare to that.
Well, what I'm asking you is it overrated that he has to get work, that he can't go 4 or 5 days without being on a big league mound?
Yes, it's overrated because he was on the DL for, 21 days, never went out of rehab. He had one simulated game, comes out, throws a perfect inning. Veteran guys are a little different than guys that don't have the experience. Veteran guys know their body, know their arm angles, know their arm slots, what it takes to throw the baseball. Good explanation of that. Escalona had to go down and pitch an inning in the third just to face some live hitters in a game with people in the seats.
And that was the only appearance he made.
But
on his
they
rehab.
wanted him to go do it.
Right.
You know, veteran guy, no, just go throw.
You know, the one concern you may have also is that, let's say you need Betancourt 3 straight days in Arizona, and then Sunday rolls around and you say, wait a second, now it'd be 4 in a row that he's out there.
Well, and that's why, brothers had that opportunity to close games to do things. So now you're a little more comfortable letting him go close now than you were before.
But he may not.
Sure.
He
may use him too.
May have had to use him earlier.
That's right.
It's 2-0 on Ethier, nobody out. Ramirez with a career best now, 15-game hitting streak. And even though you have a left-handed bat up there, I like that the Rockies are holding on Hanley Ramirez and not giving him the free bag. Keep the force and double play in order.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, you're trying to get an out right now. You're trying to get this inning shut down. A lot of times they just give him that free pass with a left-handed bat. They'd have help playing back. You can't do that right now. I never was a big fan of that anyway.
Nor am I.
I mean, just kill the guy's earned run average. You let a guy get into scoring position. You got 10-3 game. Just play the game like it's 5-3.
Three and 1 on Ethier. This will stay in the ballpark. Colvin in center field waiting. That'll bring up Matt Kemp. Kemp hit a home run last night. He had a home run earlier tonight. 2-run shot in the second. At the time, it gave the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. He also had a single in the third. 48,794 in the ballpark tonight. That's about 168 more than yesterday.
Well, I got to ask you, then where were they yesterday?
They were here. I don't know where they're stuffing everybody.
In seats. Rock pile full, every place looking pretty good. Now the rock piles start emptying down a little bit because they let people come on the field and watch the fireworks. So they can turn around and see the center field area.
Kemp hits a high fly ball to left center field. Dickerson is back there. Does he see it? Yep. 2 outs.
Well, if you're going to look up at it, and you see Colvin kind of give him a glance like, you got it, don't you? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday when he truly did lose the baseball in the air.
A different time of the night, too. Yeah, the dust set up a little bit. It was a little lighter sky, made it a little more difficult to get a hold of.
Tim Fedorovich with 2 outs, and Hanley Ramirez at first. Now Helton will back up.
Davey Lopes, he turned around and looked at Davey Lopes. Davey gave him a look like, go ahead. Take off. Hanley, you've been around a while. There's no trick play right now.
Line drive center field and deep. Colvin going back, and he makes the catch to end the game. Great running catch by Tyler Colvin. And the Rockies take this game on the 4th of July by a final score of 9-5. Jolie Chassin gets the victory. He's 8-3. Capuano takes the loss. He's 2-6. The Rockies end a 3-game slide. They snapped the 4-game winning streak of the Dodgers. They improve to 42-44. The Dodgers fall to 40-44 in the very tight and cramped National League West. Tonight's Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. Michael Kadire heavily involved offensively again. 2-run double early in the evening. That drove home Rutledge and Cargo almost simultaneously. And then later on in the evening, he went deep for the 15th time this year. A big fly to right center. Kadire drives in 3. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Handshakes, high fives, smiles, just as it should be on the 4th of July. Stick around. The Twitter postgame show is next. Rockies win at 9-5 over LA.